Has Prince Harry been unfairly treated? 020-7862-2222. Yesterday, Harry lost a High Court challenge against the government over the lack of security he gets when he's in the UK. So it's all about this simple question, which I think we can... Should we just try and put this into Harry himself's mouth? Go on, Harry, let's... Who... This is like the ABBA voyage. Who took my... protection? There we go. All right. Amazing, that. AI is never going to catch on. Who took my protection? Let's illustrate this with a scepter down the middle. Harry here in Britain, Harry there in the USA. And this is back when he was a working royal. He was entitled to protection by specially trained police officers with access to British intelligence. Yes, there is such a thing. Harry there in the USA, sort yourself out. But there's one extra thing, though. If he comes over to Britain at the moment and police think there's a specific threat, they can deploy on a case-by-case basis. So there's anything called RAVEC, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee. So they arrange the security. They decide who gets what. They consult with the Royal Household, the Intelligence Services, Foreign Office, Home Office, and they are the ones who say who gets what. So RAVEC do it. And this is the current state of play. If you look at the big four, Charles, Camilla, William and Kate, 24/7 police protection, no question, middle of the night, protected. Same for Elizabeth and Philip when they were alive. Then lower down the ranks, it's slightly different. So the great Princess Anne, Prince Edward, his wife Sophie, they're guarded only when they're out and about on official duties and engagements. The granddaughters, Zara Tyndall and Beatrice and Eugenie, don't have state-funded security. And Andrew lost his protection after stepping down from royal duties in 2019, which is a polite way of putting it. How is it paid for? The sovereign grant, taxpayer-funded settlement, and that goes towards security. And everyone assumes, don't they, Matt, that they need security, but Harry's in this grey area.
No, I feel really strongly about this. So I have my cards on the table to start with. I like Harry. I can't help it.
Well, you look like Harry.
Oh, thank you. Well, he looks like me because I'm older, but I've just always had a soft spot for him. Yes, he's made major mistakes. I don't think he should have, as it were, ratted on his family, but it was his sort of answer back after years of press intrusion. So I just quite like him. Can't help it. I know a lot of people don't like him. Yeah. And I have a lot of sympathy to his wife, and I think some of the hatred is racially motivated. Let's get that out of the way. This was a guy who was born a royal, right? He could do nothing about who he was born as. And so he cannot control the impact of that on his security throughout his life.
Not just a royal, Diana's son.
Diana's son, and of course he sees this totally understandably, partly I think through the lens of the awful death of his mother and the fact that she was relentlessly pursued by paparazzi. Harry, even though he stepped away from royal duties, is still the son of the king. And not just that, but unlike you, unlike Lin, as far as I know, and certainly unlike me, this is a man who has put his life on the line for the country in Afghanistan. It seems to me totally wrong that he doesn't get the same treatment, not preferential treatment, but the same treatment as his brother.
OK, what about that, Lin?
Why would he get the same treatment as his brother? He's not a working royal. He has decided to up and leave. He's decided to bring the family essentially into disrepute with all of these vicious statements against his brother, against his father. And fair enough, I'm not going to say, you know, stifle his freedom of expression speech, but your decisions have consequences, and he should have thought about that. And what's being lost in the conversation I've heard is, you know, he still will get a bespoke level of security. So it's not as if it's being...
He doesn't know that. He's got to hope he does.
No,
but if he arrives at Heathrow one day and goes to the hotel and there's just an Uber there, that means they've decided he's not in any risk.
The Home Office has
listen to the
stated...
bloke himself and assume for a second that he isn't motivated by ripping us off the taxpayer. And by the way, we have already footed a £400,000 bill for the Home Office in this case, although if the Court of Appeal were to uphold the decision, he will end up paying. He will pay. But if he wins, then we pay. And I want to put it like this, right? He says, I cannot put my wife in danger like that. And given my experience in life, and he's had a lot of experience in negative ways, I'm reluctant to unnecessarily put myself in harm's way too. We want this bloke to be safe, surely.
He will be safe. And if he doesn't feel safe, then he can go and get his own security. He's up 40 million. He's decided a part of why he wanted to go away from, you know, relinquish his duties wasn't just about, I don't feel comfortable, my wife doesn't feel comfortable. He wanted the glitz and glamour with his wife of Hollywood. Therefore, behave like someone in Hollywood and get your own protection.
They can't. The problem with that is that if he pays for his own security in this country, they cannot carry guns.
But, like I said, they will look to see of the threat to him and his family, and they will provide a bespoke service when he comes here. He's still going to have protection.
Trump has brought Harry into his campaign, because Trump is starting to say, I don't think he should be in the States with his history of drug use.
Oh,
okay?
really?
Oh, yeah. Because the immigration forms that Harry has filled out have not been made public, and Biden has accepted that situation. Harry's written a book where he said he's taken lots of drugs.
Yep.
Trump is now starting to make hay with this and saying you can't have a drug taker in the States. He may be back here, right? Now, if he's back here full time, does it make you even more, I don't know, desperate to avoid paying for him to have protection because he might need it more?
Well, I think if he's back here, he should really consider bringing his family together. We can see there's multiple issues in the royal family at the moment. What a good time for him to come together with his family and take up royal duties. Then he will have all the protection that he wants.
We can have all the views we want. You can be on one side, I can be on the other side of he said, she said. Did Harry do the wrong thing? Did his family do the wrong thing? We're talking about his security. He was born into this position. He could do nothing about this. By the way, the Trump involvement, am I right or am I wrong in thinking that Harry didn't invite Trump to his wedding? Am I wrong or right about that?
He certainly didn't come to the wedding.
This would be very typical of Trump in its vindictiveness.
No, it might be, but I mean, he's previously been nice about Harry and nasty about Meghan. He said, I don't like her. I think Harry's going to need a lot of luck.
You just want to do the impression.
Sylvia, well, I'm trying to get ready for November because this guy looks like he's coming back.
I hope so.
You hope so? You hope Trump gets back?
Yeah.
He's a racist, he's a misogynist, he's
and Biden
an inveterate
and Biden's not
liar.
Racist, and Biden isn't.
I don't think Biden
all the
is
policies
racist.
that he's done has incarcerated thousands of black young men.
Well, the American criminal justice system over both parties.
Many
awful.
black Americans want Trump.
But you want Trump?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes.
And you think black Americans do? That's so interesting. Sylvia in Durham, hi. What do you think? Is Harry being treated unfairly here?
Well, I personally think he's very unfairly. At the end of the day, when we all sit back and think about things, Prince Charles, our king now, did naughty tapes with Camilla when he was married to Princess Diana, did a book, did an interview. Princess Margaret, well, what she did was unbelievable considering it was in the royal family.
I missed out on Prince Margaret's heyday.
Though. He didn't, whatever King Charles did, he didn't up and decide to leave the country and leave his royal duties.
Hang on. Charles did an interview with Jonathan Dimbleby because Diana had done one that basically took the floorboards out from his life. Rightly or wrongly. God, that's all ancient history now. But anyway, but the thing was, the devastating thing about Harry's interview, Sylvia, was that he accused the royals of being racist towards his wife.
Well, I mean, we can't say they weren't or they were because we weren't there. So, I mean, I love Prince Harry. I think he's a wonderful human being. Every time I look at that boy, all I can see is his mum, Princess Diana. I think he's been very badly treated by this country. We should feel thoroughly ashamed of ourselves for treating a young man like that. He went through torture when his mum died. All the do's and don'ts and what happened and didn't happen, he had to live with. So anything he's done in his life has been at the expense of himself, not anyone else. And I think it's time we left Prince Harry and Meghan Markle alone because the way they're being treated by this country is they're a disgrace.
Well, it's hard to leave them alone when they're publicising books and whatnot. So they're kind of basically saying, look at us, and that's.
We want to leave them alone, but they want to keep coming back, asking for protection.
It's his country. He was born into this country, born into the family.
He's got the same protection as Princess Anne.
Let's take the great Anne. Let's take a break, and we'll take more calls then on Prince Harry and whether he's been unfairly treated, because the High Court has said we're not going to allow you to have 24/7 police protection when you're in the UK. 0207 862 2222 is the number. We'll see you shortly. Now more calls on whether Prince Harry's been badly treated. 0207 07862 2222. Give us a call. I don't know what my view on this is. Brian in Surrey, you tell me. What should we think about this?
I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible the way he's treated the family.
Oh.
He's come over here and he wants this, that and the other. He never appeared when his grandfather was ill, even when his nan, the late Queen Elizabeth, which was a great woman. And honestly and truthfully, he just wants everything his way. Now, he's come over and wants to claim for security over here. If he goes back to America, what happens? They will sling him out if
Trump gets in.
President Trump gets in.
Yeah.
They'll sling him out. That's how much he's liked. With him and his wife, Meghan, they're trouble.
The trouble.
I mean,
but let Matt come in here. Matt, what do you think of what Brian's saying?
No, I could not disagree with you more strongly, Brian, and I'll put it as simply as I can. Have I ever considered signing up to the armed forces of my great country, the United Kingdom? No, I haven't. Harry did, despite coming from incredible privilege, and he put his life on the line for our country.
How about that, Brian?
He never even drove a helicopter. He was just a gunner sitting at the window.
Just
with
a
in
gunner.
uniform. All right, he was there, but many others did. They don't get praise like
He
him.
was in harm's way. Come on, Brian. He was in harm's way in Afghanistan. I know he's told us he killed 25 Taliban, which was not a good thing to say. But
It was a terrible thing.
He
It was a
served.
terrible
He
thing
served.
to say.
But regardless of that, in a way, this is like the doctor saying, "I'm not going to treat that person because I don't like them." This isn't really about whether we like Harry. It's about whether he's in danger when he comes to the UK. And there are so many nut jobs around, Brian. Isn't it? Isn't Harry a target?
He's a target. Do himself a favour and stay over in America as long as he possibly can.
Well, yeah, but
Because
as
I'll
you
tell
just said,
what,
Trump might throw him out.
he will do. If he gets president, he's out.
Okay, Brian.
What's he going to do then? He's going to end up in Canada, Australia, or some other place. Like,
He'll
he
come
won't
to-
come back here.
I think he'll
because
come to
she won't let
Frogmore.
him.
He'll come and live
He
in
won't
Frogmore
let-
Cottage. I think he'll come back then. I think he's going to... Genuinely, a certain age of guy, you can't live without football. I'm telling you.
I'm not
telling
as staunch as Brian, but there are sentiments I do agree with. He made his bed.
What, that when he was in the army, all he did was sit by the window?
Possibly. I don't know about all of that. However, since being in the army, he has made decisions which he knew would not lead to 24-hour supervision round-the-clock security when he's here.
Well, now that's where your argument does start to fall apart, Matt, is that, he wrote a book where he said he killed 25 Taliban. I saw someone tweeting saying that the queue for people to sign Harry's book, and it was one of these memes, and it's just like a line of 100 Taliban outside Waterstones. That's the danger he's put himself in.
Well, that was ill-advised on his part, and I've said already that he's made mistakes. That doesn't mean that we still don't have a responsibility to his safety. This comes back to the point about, do we like him, do we not like him? Has he made mistakes?
Like a doctor.
Fine,
You don't say we don't treat people we don't like. Julie in Cheshire, hi.
Hello?
Are we being unfair to him?
No, I think he should never come back. He should not get anything paid for by us. Zara doesn't get it. Eugene and Beatrice don't get it. They're born royal princesses. So why should he get it? He chose to leave this country and we won't pay for him.
They're not the sons of the king, though.
But what about Princess
Makes no
Anne?
difference.
Of course
Well,
it
Anne
does.
just basically has it when she's out and about.
Exactly. So Princess Anne is the sister, and she doesn't even have 24-hour protection. She essentially will have the similar protection as Harry will have now. What's wrong with that?
Well, I was saying the other day, and forgive me if you were watching and you heard me say this, I went to a book launch, there's security into the room. I think it must be somebody very important coming to this launch. It was Nadine Dorris's book. Who was it? Liz Truss. She gets this.
Well,
49 days.
There's
No,
a
but
very
As
Prime Minister.
Very interesting example. I mean, I thought Liz Truss,
Yes.
and a lot of people thought Liz Truss was a totally disastrous Prime Minister. She was also unbelievably short-lived. What was it, 48 days?
49.
49 days, exactly. And she gets that protection. But I defend her right to that protection, even though in her case, I think she's been a disaster
Well,
for
she's
the
not a
country.
target, I don't think. Rosalind in Fife, hi.
Oh, good morning to you, Jeremy,
Would
and
you-
the panel.
Lots of people were quite cross about Harry. What do you think, Rosalind?
No, I don't. I disagree with them. I think he has been unfairly treated. Definitely, I know it was his choice to go abroad into the USA, but excuse me.
No, don't worry.
Excuse me. But the thing is, he did that for a reason, and he's done that because he's a royal through and through, and his mother would actually be turning in her grave at the moment and for years.
Well,
and shame on the rest of the royal family.
I think, and I think it's difficult to imagine what Diana would think, but I think the biggest pain to Diana would be the rift between the brothers, and there's nobody done that but them.
I do agree. No, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But you've also got to look at it that he is a spare, like his book says. His father has not done anything to intervene with this. Shame on
I don't know.
Charles, and shame on his wife. If it wasn't for Prince Charles, Diana would be alive now. We know that. But getting back.
No, let me. Do you mind me just going to another call? I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, David in Norfolk. Hi, I just want to squeeze you in. What do you want to say, David?
Good morning. I'd just like to say, Harry is a good lad. He served in the forces like myself. He went to Afghanistan, but he doesn't deserve protection. He decided to leave England and go to America.
Norfolk
got paid
away
a lot of money
as well, in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yes, but then if he's in danger when he comes back, David, that's the thing.
Here's the thing: is like your previous caller said. We're all big fans of Diana. We never stop being that, and I think Charles is, we need to heal that rift between him and his brother. It's important. But he made his choice. He should stay there.
Okay.
He doesn't deserve extra money from us. We pay taxes. He doesn't.
He probably does, but there's a royal tax thing now. But I know what you mean. They get a big grant and all.
To the American administration, but we do pay our taxes and we pay for these people.
That's true. Actually, if he's not in the UK, he's not paying tax.
Making a saving. Right. We're saving.
Thank you. Yeah, I was. Of course, part of the history of this is Diana had her protection taken away when the marriage broke up. But let me just go to Jane. Sorry, Jane in Hampshire. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
We got a little moment now for you to conclude this, Jane. Do you think we've treated him unfairly?
Initially, I was with everybody else saying, absolutely not. He's made his own bed. He's got to lie in it. However, we do give protection. We have some of the best security protection in the world. If you have for example, a film star, a pop star, or something like that, they have to look after their children and ensure their families are safe. And they don't get anything special. The royal family are a par with them, really, nowadays. And I don't see really why he should have extra protection.
So you see, like Taylor Swift and Princess Anne are in the same game in a way.
They're still in the eye of the public.
I see. No, OK, fine. But I suppose one of them's public servant and one of them's a...
But, Jane, imagine something that, God forbid, bad did happen. We would never forgive ourselves as a society.
Well, it wouldn't make any difference. It could happen in America just as well.
Well, yeah, probably more likely to. Thank you, Jane. Thanks for all your calls on this. After the break, we're asking, should we ban meal...